Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. So, briefly, I'll first start by defining what personal finance means, and then we can take it from there. What is personal finance? Personal finance is the management of an individual or a household's financial resources. It just means how you manage your resources, and it involves how you make financial decisions, how you set financial goals, your budgeting, your saving, investments, and your plans for the future. The main objective of personal finance is for you to achieve financial stability, security, and long-term prosperity. Now let's talk about the key aspects of personal finance. Number one is budgeting. What is budgeting? Budgeting is about creating a plan for income and expenses to ensure that your spending aligns with your financial goals and that you have a balance between how you're saving and how you're spending. So everyone needs to have a financial goal. What's your goal for your finance? Where do you see yourself? What do you want your financial life to look like? Once you have a goal like that, the next reasonable thing to do is to have a budget towards your financial goal. Then the next aspect of personal finance is saving. Everyone who is serious about developing their personal finance, everyone who is serious with their personal finance must be an habitual saver. You must learn how to save. You can't be spending all your earning. You can't be spending everything. So saving is setting aside a portion of your income regularly. Note the word regularly. If you're saving, you must be setting aside a portion of your income regularly, and it's meant for future needs or emergencies. So you could be saving in a savings account, a retirement account, or using other investment vehicles or other investment tools, but you have to be setting something aside regularly. And when you're setting something aside, it's not what you use to buy what you just like, or you use it to eat. You understand? That's not saving. Savings is you're setting a portion of your income aside for future needs and emergencies. Okay, so the next aspect of personal finance, apart from budgeting and savings, is investment. Now, you can't become wealthy by saving. You cannot have wealth through saving. So the tool for acquiring wealth is investment. So an investment goes beyond savings. When you save your money in the bank, or you keep your money in a piggy bank in your house, or you keep it somewhere, or you do what is called corporate collection or ajo, or I don't know what other names some people or other people give to it. When you do that, you only get little interest, and you're only making the bank rich actually. But when you invest, you are able to grow wealth over time by putting your money into various investment options. And please, before you invest your hard-earned money into something, you need to learn about it. Don't in all this bring 10,000 get 20,000, bring 20,000 get 40,000. Those are not real investments. You need to, and talking about investment would take us a lot of time that we are not prepared to spend today. So just know that to properly invest, you need to learn about investment so that you don't burn your money, because there are so many schemes on the internet right now, and they are all just targeted towards burning of your money. So then the next thing, so investment, you need to learn about it. Don't just save your money, you need to invest your money. That is the third aspect of personal finance. The fourth aspect of personal finance is debt management. You need to learn how to handle debt responsibly. Actually, I would prefer that you don't get into debt, But once you get into debt, you need to learn how to handle your debt responsibly. You need to understand interest rates. You need to know that there are some interest rates that don't make sense. For example, those of you who get loans from all these loan sharks, all these apps, you are not doing yourself a good thing. Those people are not out there for your help. They are just there to prey on your ignorance. You need to learn about interest rates. When you begin to have two interest rates in 2 digits, that's too much. And then sometimes you get some loans that are compounding interest. Hmm, that's so serious. So please, and these things, they take time anyway, but you need to learn how to handle your debt and how to even avoid debt in the first instance. And you need to learn how to prioritize repayment to avoid excessive debt burden. Another aspect of personal finance is retirement planning. You need to prepare for when you will not be able to work anymore. The Bible said, Jesus said, the night cometh when no man can do any work. So you need to learn to prepare for that time. So, and you do that by contributing to retirement account, by investing. There are so many ways you can prepare for your retirement. Okay, this voice note is getting too long. Let me stop here and continue in the next recording. The next aspect of personal finance that we need to talk about, apart from retirement planning, is insurance. Most people do not think about insurance, but insurance is a very important aspect of personal finance that you need to think about. You need to protect yourself against financial risks by having appropriate insurance coverage, such as health insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, home insurance. Yes, there's a level you get to that even in your business that you would really need to think about insurance. Also, if you're running a business, a registered business especially, you need to think about estate plan. You need to think about tax. You need to pay tax to the government. There is, if you have registered your business with CAC, there is annual returns and all of that. So those are parts of personal finance that you need to think about, that you need to pay attention to. You need to learn how to separate your own personal money from your business funds so that you don't run your business to the ground. So these are some things that you need to know about. These are some aspects of personal finance that we need to pay attention to. Then last but not the least is estate planning. Most people don't think about writing their will because they feel that in Nigeria or in Africa generally, there is a belief that writing your will is like wishing for death, but that's not true. That's not right. It's good to prepare for, especially if you have properties, you have a family that you would need to take care of, that you need them to be taken care of when you leave. It's good to start thinking about your will and start planning for it. And may I chip in here that having a next of kin does not mean your next of kin is the person who will inherit your properties, or because when you go to the bank, you fill in your next of kin. When you fill official documents, they ask you to supply the name of your next of kin. And I realize that most people feel that the next of kin is the person who will inherit their money or something. No, it doesn't work that way. Your next of kin is actually that person that can make decisions for you in case of emergencies when you're not able to make decisions, somebody that can be called on to act on your behalf. That's your next of kin. So I just wanted to point that out because I realized that there's a big misconception on that. So those are the basics of personal finance that we just discussed. Once you have your financial goals, the next thing is budgeting. You need to have a budget, a working budget. Most people do not have a budget. The thing is, when you have clear financial goals, then you would be needing a budget. And briefly, what's a budget? A budget is like a list of what you hope to spend, what is coming in for you, and what you hope to spend, what you plan to spend. It's like planning. It's like a financial plan, like a monetary plan. So the thing is, you need to, when you are budgeting, you need to track your income and expenses. You need to set financial goals and create a realistic budget. It's not just creating a budget. Your budget needs to be realistic. For example, you can't say, I don't want to spend more than 10,000 naira in a month. In this present day Nigeria, is that even possible? Is that realistic? So you need to set a realistic budget. You need to know, how much am I spending every day? How much am I spending in a month? How much is coming in? How much is going out? You need to be able to state clearly, and there are things that would help you. There are apps that you can download and use to track your expenses. When you buy anything, when you sell, or when you buy anything, when you spend money, when you transfer money. That's why I usually like uh, to use narrations, to put descriptions when I'm transferring money. When I'm making transfers, I always add descriptions to it. If I want to buy something and I'm buying it via transfer, I add a description. The reason why I do that is that because of when I want to track my expenses, so I'm able to say that, okay, I spent this one on buying foodstuffs, I spent this one on getting clothes, I spent this so amount of money on my baby. Track your expenses, track your income, know how much you are earning, how much is coming in for you, and your expenses. So you need to prioritize on saving and investing for the future. Prioritize on saving and investing for the future. Like I said, you shouldn't be spending everything that comes into your pocket. One very good method that an uncle of mine taught me a very long time ago, when I just finished from the university, is that you should treat your savings like the way you tithe, the way you pay your tithe. You know that let's assume you earn 70,000 every month. So you know that your tithe is 7,000. So he advised that you use 10% as your savings. So once you pay your tithe 7,000, you remove your savings to 7,000 every month. You know that 10% is what I'm saving out of my money. By the time you're able to do that consecutively for like a year, and then every income you get, you may have some other streams of income. Every other income you get, you're always saving 10%. Once you remove your tithe of 10%, you save 10%. Once you are able to do that, you would have pulled together enough money to be able to invest. You have enough to invest. And these things are so easy these days. There are apps that you can use to track your expenses, to plan your budget. And then for investment, there are apps like the Bamboo app that you can even use to invest in companies outside Nigeria, that you can use to build a dollar portfolio. Yes, it's possible for you to invest right from Nigeria in companies like Facebook. There was a time MTN advertised that they were selling their shares. So you can invest in companies that are even not in Nigeria. There are apps that helps you do that. So all these things are so easy right now, and nobody has an excuse not to do them. Something I would really love to, hammer on, because I realize that most ladies, most women do not pay attention to their finance so much. You need to disabuse your mind of the mentality of dependence. It's hard. I know it's hard for most women, because we grew up learning, being told, either directly or unconsciously imbibing the idea that a woman is to be dependent all the days of her life. But the realities of today's society shows that a woman cannot afford to be dependent, especially when it comes to your finance. You can't afford it. Gone are the days where the man is the sole provider in the family. The truth is, it doesn't work that way. As a matter of fact, most elderly men, 99% of them do not want to be in a situation where their wives are depending on them totally for everything. The climate of the world, let me just put it that way, has changed, and we have we have moved way far away from those days when men are the sole provider in the home. And you need to have financial goals. I realize that few people, even men this time around, even men do not have financial goals. Few people have financial goals. People do not know what they want in terms of finance. What do you want? You need to sit down and determine that what kind of life do you want to live? What How much would you need to live that kind of life that you want to live? I remember there was a time when I finished my first degree. I went for my second degree. By the way, I'm a graduate of agricultural economics for both my first degree and second degree. And during masters, by the time we were rounding up with our masters, I had a friend, very close friend, a very good friend of mine, a guy then, and he was telling me then that, oh, I don't want to be greedy. He's a Christian, and these are the things that we really need to talk about. So he was telling me that, see, I don't want to love money, so I'm just looking for a job that will pay me well. If I get a job of 50,000, 100,000, I'll be okay. And I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about? You're a man. You would soon get married and have children. A job of 100,000 will not sustain your family. Or what kind of life do you want to be living? And that's just the truth. Most of us, some people do not have financial goals. Some who have financial goals have very unsustainable financial goals. For example, if you are living in Lagos, you can't be having 100,000 monthly as your financial goal. As a matter of fact, I cannot think of any state in Nigeria right now where you would have a financial goal of living on 100,000. It's not going to work except you are a student anyway. And even if you are a student, I don't see it working. So you need to have financial goals. You need to sit down and think, what kind of life do I want for myself? Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Probably in the next 5 years, you would be married. In the next 5 years, you would have relocated from where you are living. How much will be able to sustain this kind of life that I want? If I'm living in Lagos, how much will I need to be able to sustain the kind of life that I want? How much do I need to be able to live in the kind of environment that I would love to live? Which kind of environment do I would love to live? Which kind of house do I want to live in? Which kind of car do I want to drive? So you need to set all these goals, and then you need to know, how much would I need to sustain this kind of life that I want? And I'm not even talking about greed or being materialistic here, but you need to have financial goals. That's my point. There are situations and circumstances that happen to you that warrant that you plan towards them. It's part of making financial goals. For example, if you're about to get married, you know that you're going to spend money for your wedding. Then you need to begin to plan towards it. You must learn how to plan towards that. That's something that you need to take charge of. Don't just be waiting. Okay, maybe somebody will send me money. Maybe this will happen. Maybe that will happen. You need to plan towards it. If you're a married woman and you're pregnant, you know that in the next 9 months, I would deliver this baby. So you need to start planning. You need to save towards it. Things like delivery fee, the money you pay, hospital bills for delivery, they are not emergencies. You have a whole of 9 months to plan towards it. If you need to pay your house rent, you know that every year by so month, my house rent will be due. So you need to start planning towards it. You start planning you plan towards it. You budget, you save towards it. Those are not emergencies. For example, these days, married women especially, you need to, it's not a bad thing. People think it's bad or it's wishing yourself evil, but you know that emergencies can happen during delivery that would require that you probably deliver via CS. CS is not a course. So you know that CS would cost me more than vaginal delivery. So you plan towards it, you save towards it. It's part of planning towards your personal finance. We hear stories of so the woman was in labor, she needed to deliver, and they needed money for CS, and they couldn't get money for CS, and so she died during delivery. Or her husband said he didn't have money, so the woman died during delivery. Those are things that we shouldn't. That's women. These things hang on our necks. You need to take charge. You're going to pay your school fees. Then start planning. I will still talk about how to increase your income, because the thing is, if you don't have money coming in for you, there's nothing you want to plan with. So, but there are issues that happen that you really need to plan towards. You need to plan towards starting a family, for marriage, for health emergencies, for whatever it is you need to buy, for your school fees, some bills that that these are recurrent bills. I always pay them. They will come up. Then you need to really, really plan towards that. Need to talk about right now is that you need to change your mindset about money. Sometimes people have limiting beliefs that make them not to think big about their finance. The Bible says that as a man thinketh in his mind, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you have limiting beliefs, oh, I can't earn much. Where will I get the money? I do not have that money. That's too expensive. Sometimes you need something, you need a knowledge, you need a course to, better your life, and you're saying that's too expensive. You need to change the way you talk about money. And instead of saying I don't have money, you say I don't have money for that yet. Instead of saying that's too expensive, where do I get that money? You say I cannot pay for that yet. There's a difference between that's too expensive. When you say that's too expensive, you are shutting yourself out. You are shutting yourself off. But when you say I cannot afford that yet, you're leaving a gap for yourself. You're leaving a space for yourself to be able, you believe that you will get there, but you're not just there now, but you get there later. So you need to break limiting beliefs about money. Oh, I'm a woman, I can't do that. I'm a woman, I can't earn that. If I tell you that there are people earning more than 1 million in Nigeria and they are women, would you believe, or you be like, oh, they are ashewo? If you see a woman driving a very big car, a very beautiful car, what comes to your mind? Oh, maybe her boyfriend bought it for her. Maybe she's dating a Yahoo boy. Maybe if you see women achieving big things financially, what comes to your mind? You think, oh, they can't do that. You need to break away those limiting beliefs. You need to cultivate a positive and proactive money mindset. When you need something, once you have a financial goal and you know that you are not there yet. Anyway, if you have a goal, it just means that you are not there yet. Then you need to think, how can I raise this money? How can I raise this money? How can I get where I need to get to? Because, and that's where I'm going to close today. How can I get there? How can I raise it? You must break away from that limiting beliefs and have that positive mindset towards money. Have a proactive money mindset. I'm going to need this thing. I do not have it now. How can I have it? So you need to recognize your limiting beliefs about money. Money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. And the truth is, we need money. Even if you want God to use you to propagate the gospel need you to be successful. Look at when God asked Moses to build the temple in the Bible. If there were no people who had gold, silver, all these resources that was used to build the temple, to build the tabernacle on their way to the promised land, in the wilderness, people brought gold, people brought silver, people brought oil, people brought all these resources that they put together to be able to build that temple, to build that tabernacle. If they didn't have it, how would they do the work of God? If Solomon was not rich in resources, in gold, in silver, in bronze, in precious metals, in rare gems, How will he build such a beautiful, magnificent temple? Look at when Jesus was crucified and he died. None of the disciples could go close to Pilate to ask for the body of Jesus. It was Joseph of Arimathea. The Bible said a rich man, a wealthy man. He had enough connections. He was able to walk straight to Pontius Pilate and demand for the body of Jesus. The truth is, the kind of life that God has in mind for you is a life of VIP, a life of visibility, a life of influence and impact, and a life of profit. That is the kind of life God has for you. So you must break your limiting beliefs about money. And money is not the root of evil. It is the love of money that is the root of evil. And Jesus never said that a rich man cannot get to heaven. Jesus said it is hard for those who trust in their riches to get to heaven. Paul wrote to Timothy and he said, warn those who have the riches of this world, that they use the things they have, they use their resources, not as abusing them. The thing is, the problem with materialistic is when you have the money, when you have the riches, you have the wealth, you have the resources, and you abuse it. That's where the problem is. But having it is not the problem. Even Jesus told us that when we seek God's kingdom and his righteousness, he said other things will be added to us. So it is God's plan for us to have wealth, to be okay financially. So you need to break away from negative mindset, limiting beliefs about money. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. So briefly, I'll first start by defining what personal finance means, and then we can take it from there. What is personal finance? Personal finance is the management of an individual or a household's financial resources. It just means how you manage your resources. And it involves how you make financial decisions, how you set financial goals, your budgeting, your saving, investments, and your plans for the future. The main objective of personal finance is for you to achieve financial stability, security, and long-term prosperity. This is not too difficult these days to save. I've told you that there are many apps that are out there for you that you can use to save. And I'm going to be giving you some apps that you can use to save. There are apps like Cowrywise, Piggyvest that you can connect to your account, that once any money drop, you would have set it to be deducting the money directly from your account. You will have set a day that every second of every month, deduct 10,000 naira, deduct 2,000 naira, deduct 1,000 naira from my account. It's like auto save, and it will deduct it. I think even Opay app has that option of auto save. The thing about Piggyvest and Cowrywise is that once you ask them to deduct that money from your account, you are able to lock it such that once you have set that, keep this money and keep it safe until December 2024, you are not going to be able to withdraw that money until that time. And you don't need to be the one making transfers or sending the money to your savings account. It will be automatically deducted every month. Whatever time you have set for it, whatever frequency you've set for it, it will be automatically deducted from your account. And with Cowrywise, no matter what you do, you are not going to be able to withdraw that money until the time that you have stated it is due. So those are things that can help you to save.